Hey guys, alright. Well, I got a image on a block. Just got a cheap piece of little block here. Thought it'd be cute to do a little Godzilla. My son wanted a Godzilla print, and I thought, well, make a little Godzilla stamp for him. And so I got these kind of washable marker slash pens. The company is called it's called Brie Rees watercolor creams. I think they work really well. Used them in some of my design demos. It's a watercolor pen basically, but it goes on really smoothly, and so I thought I'd try it on this. And I'd use green because it's Godzilla. As for my background here, so I'm just going to kind of lightly go over everything across the block. So I can put a nice even tone. All right. Took a break to make sure I was recording. I've done that a few times. I've done something and then realized I didn't record any of it. But yeah, I feel this stuff is pretty good. Gonna get a little shot glass and some water. Okay, and I'm just gonna lightly brush now this material, and hopefully when I'm done I'll be able to see my image coming through. Hopefully I didn't put too much down, but yeah, it seems to be working. Just want to really give it a nice coating. And if you're wanting to know where I got those marker slash pens at, I got them at Target. It was in the arts area. It's the only place that's open right now. I've looked at currently during this whole time period. I've looked at a lot of stuff at not Michael's, Walmart, but seems to be kind of picked through. I'm not the only teacher needing to get supplies for their class, so yeah, so the supplies are a little bit limited. Now I'm just gonna kind of make sure I got that all cleaned off. There's nothing sticking on the top because that is a little bit of a waxy kind of a feel. So now I'm just gonna make sure that gets into my block. So far it feels really good. I'm very pleased with it. I'm happy with the outcome. Now I'm gonna get a paper towel real fast while it's still damp. Lightly rub it. Okay, came off. And that looks pretty good. I can see my image just like it was before. I can see my green strength in there. So now I'm going to let this dry, and then once it's dry, I'm going to carve it out. And it shouldn't take me too long to do this as a carve demo, but I'm going to show you some different kind of hatch marks and how to get these shapes in. But this is what I'm looking for you guys. If you did little things like this, you could knock these out in like an hour and do little hand stamps where you can press it down on. You got to make sure you put some kind of a fabric behind it so you can give a little bit of a cushion so when you press. Okay, I know a lot of you don't have ink, so I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do that. But as of right now, this is the best method to cut our blocks, and I'm going to give you a demo on that. So at this point, we'll let this dry and then we'll start carving it. All right, we're back. Okay, this is dry now. can touch it and it's not gonna smear or get green on my hand. That's old. Okay, so I'm gonna move this out of the way. All right, now here are some of the tools that I have. Now they make a variety of different kinds of gouges that you can use. I like Power Grip. I think it's a good brand. It's pretty universal. Pros use it to amateurs. It's not a brand that's too expensive. It's quite affordable, and it's good. It's a good quality. It's easy to sharpen the tools. These tools have been freshly sharpened, but I'm also going to show you today how to keep them sharp. Okay, now we have here, okay, this is a brand by FlexiCut. Now they make their own cutting tools too, and FlexiCut tools, they're great. The only thing I don't like about FlexiTool is when you use them, you push from the center of your hand and you're pushing outward in this motion. But like with these tools, when I push with these, I'm still using the center of my hand, but I have a little bit more force, and I like the way that it fits on my thumb, and it really kind of works better for me to use these tools. But it's a preference thing, and FlexiCut is a little bit more expensive, but they have a lot of replacement blades, and the blades are really quite affordable once you get the handle. But this is a great way to hone and sharpen your tool, and I'm going to show you how to use this. This is one that I've had in the shop for a while. It's pretty much brand new. Hasn't been used that much. Now, if you look at the ones in the shop, they're a lot more used, and I'm going to explain what this is and how we use that. Another thing is get a belt. Now this is a real leather belt. It's not a faux leather. The end broke off on it, so now it's becoming a sharpening tool. So when my belts break, that's what I tend to use them for. Or old leather shoes work really well too. I just cut them up and then use that leather. It's usually a little bit better than a belt, but we'll be talking about that as we're carving. Now, let's get into the carving. Okay, we have various types of blades. We have 5 blades in these setups. Okay, now I'm going to pull them all out, and I'm going to explain how we use them and what they're used for. Okay, this one is got a straight point to it. I've sharpened this down almost as sharp as an X-Acto blade, so it is extremely sharp. You can actually I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it really sheens on that edge. I like my tools to be extremely sharp because they cut easier. The sharper the tool, the better the tool. Okay, the moment it gets dull, that's when you're going to cut yourself. Okay, and you want to keep up on the sharpness. Now, this tool right here is to help when you're doing outlines, cutting crisp edges, and you'll see me using this almost kind of like a very fine micro pen. Okay, so if we think about this is like a micro pen. Then we get down to our next group of carving tools. Now I have these in order in thickness. Okay, so now you look at this one. Now I'll see if I can show you this. Now you can see right there, see how it has a V in it? This is my V gouge that came in the set. Again, I just had these sharpened, so they're extremely nice. We have a wonderful gentleman who comes to our class and sharpens our tools, and he does a wonderful job. If you're curious about that and you live in the Dallas area and you have at least $60 to $80 worth of tools to sharpen, he charges $20 or $25 to do this set. It's $5 a tool. And so if you have about $60 to $80 worth of tools you need sharpened, email me and I will put down his contact information. His name's Evan. And so Evan does a wonderful job of sharpening my tools and my students' works tools as well. So right here we have this lovely V gouge. Now this, okay, depending on the pressure you use, this can be a very fine line or a very thick line. It just depends on how deep you carve with it. All right. And then a lot of people think that the small gouge right here is going to give you your thinnest line. The truth is, this is going to be a thinner line than this. So don't use the width of this to think about what the width of the line is going to be. And we're going to play with this as well. This is more like a felt tip marker. So this is about the equivalent of a Sharpie. Okay. So the line thickness is going to be about that thick. All right. And so I want you to think about that as a Sharpie pull. Okay. Now, the next ones that I have in here, I'm grabbing something real fast out of my bag. Nope, I put it away. Okay. So my next one here is my U-shaped gouge. Again, I have two U-shapes. You got a small U-shape and a large U-shape. Now this U-shaped gouge is to clear out big areas. Okay, now on this little block, am I going to use this one very much? Probably not. I might use it to do a lot of cleaning and just get out some of the bigger areas out of the way. Okay, now here, this one, that's real flat, okay, and got a soft edge to it right here. This one is used to clear out all my planes and flatten everything down and get everything smooth, so when we roll on the ink, that the ink doesn't hit in these green areas, okay? And this helps get it so we don't get what we call chatter, where we get little lines. Now, some people love the chatter. If you're ones that like the chatter and you don't use that tool very much, that's your preference. It varies on each project that I have with students. Some people like it, some people don't. Now, when we're thinking about carving this, okay, we want to use thin marks at the beginning and then clear out the rest. I always say work on your small details first and then work on your large stuff, okay? All right. So those are the tools we're going to use. I'm going to show you how to sharpen as I start to dull these tools down, and how you should do this little carving. Okay, so I'm going to start part 2 coming up.